The night before their last day of work, two rival babysitters are forced to team up when all the parents in their exclusive neighborhood simultaneously go out for the evening, leaving the sitters with 14 kids running amok. I had been working as a babysitter for Mrs. Kensington since the kids were born, which meant that my relationship with the twins was more like brother and sister than babysitter and kids. And in the 4 years since then, not only had I become one of the most requested babysitters in the area, but I'd also made an honest living from it, too. For the Kensingtons, I took care of 7-year-old twins, Ethan and Ella, who were the absolute light of their parents' lives. Not only did they have two of the coolest parents on the block, but they also had the best house on the block. The backyard alone was worth more than the GDP of some countries. The other sitter that the Kensingtons often hired was the equally popular and experienced Isabella, who had a reputation for being cool and calm under pressure. She worked with almost every family on our street, and she knew all the ins and outs of this close-knit community better than anybody else. On the surface, Bella and I were complete opposites. She was bubbly and outgoing, while I was more relaxed and chill. But what we both had in common was that we were good at what we did, and we were both about to find out how good. As Friday afternoon rolled around, I received my usual text from Mrs. Kensington, letting me know that they were going out for the evening and asking if I could come over early to get the kids ready for bed. So I walked over to the Kensingtons' house, opened the front door, and yelled, "Hey, you guys home?" After no reply, I figured they must still be at work. So I went into the kitchen and started making dinner for the kids. As I was preparing pasta, I heard the front door open and I turned around to see Bella walk in with a stack of toys in her arms. "I'm sorry I'm late," she said. "Mrs. Peterson kept me an extra half hour to help clean up after the spaghetti dinner they had." "No worries," I replied. "Dinner will be ready in 20 minutes. You want to help serve it?" "Sure thing," Bella said with a smile. But before we could enjoy our pasta dinner, there was a knock at the door, and standing there was Mrs. Peterson. "Sorry to interrupt," she began, "but all the moms on the block just got together and decided that we should all go out for dinner tonight to celebrate the end of the school year. We wanted to ask if you could watch the kids." Bella and I said in unison. "We're really sorry, but we both have plans for tonight," Bella added. "Plans?" Mrs. Peterson raised an eyebrow. "What kind of plans would you have at this hour?" I stammered. "Well, I was gonna go get a pizza and watch a movie, and I was going to do my nails and put on a face mask." Bella finished for me. Mrs. Peterson sighed. "You girls are no fun. Come on, please do it for us." All the dads are pitching in for a big tip before either Bella or I could say another word. Mrs. Peterson was practically dragging us toward her car. When we got to the restaurant, there were 8 other moms waiting in booths. "Thank goodness you came," Mrs. Peterson said. "The server said she would give us 15% off the bill because of how many of us there are. Let's go over the rules real quick," she continued. "No phones. If you hear the kids making a lot of noise, you have to leave immediately. And if anything breaks, you have to pay for it out of your tip money." Bella and I nodded in agreement, but we both knew this was going to be a disaster. And as soon as we got back to the house with 14 screaming kids, our suspicions were confirmed. Over the next 3 hours, the kids destroyed the house. They covered the walls with drawings, spilled juice on the carpet, broke several lamps, and left candy wrappers and crumbs everywhere. And by the time the parents got home, they'd managed to break one of the patio chairs, too. Bella and I stood in the driveway watching the parents play. "Well, that was fun," I said sarcastically. "Yeah," Bella agreed. "I can't wait for them to hand us our..." We watched as the parents got out of their car, went inside, and turned the lights off. "Wait, what are they doing?" Bella asked. And as she was saying it, I saw a shadow appear at the window. It was Mrs. Peterson. "Hey, you guys," she yelled. "Can you come inside real quick? I need to show you something." We exchanged worried glances and followed her inside. This sight that greeted us was like nothing I'd ever seen before. The entire house was decorated with streamers and balloons. There was a banner that read, "Congratulations on your new jobs." a giant cake on the kitchen counter, and all the parents were standing in front of the fireplace with huge smiles on their faces. "Congratulations," Mrs. Peterson said. "Where did you think we were going for dinner? We all chipped in and bought you both brand new cars. What do you think?" Before I could respond, Bella blurted out, "New jobs! What are you talking about?" Mrs. Peterson suddenly looked very nervous. I thought you knew," she stuttered. "Your parents told us last week that you were moving away and that you wouldn't be coming back." "Moving away? I hadn't even told my own parents yet." Suddenly, I felt a pair of hands on my shoulders. "It's true," Dad said. "We're moving to Boston because Mom got a promotion and a big pay raise. Your new house is already being built and we'll be moving in next month." "Boston," I repeated. "But what about my job here? What am I supposed to do?" "You can find a new job in Boston," Mom replied. "Come on, it'll be fun. You can go to college there and get a degree and maybe find a boyfriend." All I could do was nod and force a smile, but inside I was panicking. I loved where I lived. I loved my house, my friends, my dogs, and my job. Most of all, I didn't want to leave the twins. That weekend, I tried to tell them that I wouldn't be seeing them anymore, but they didn't seem to understand why I was sad. "You're going to get a new baby brother or sister," Ella said with a smile. "And we'll come visit you in your new house," Ethan added. At least they understood that I wouldn't be coming back. As the weeks passed, I tried to get used to the idea of leaving, but no matter what, it just didn't seem right. One day I got a call from Bella who sounded desperate. "You won't believe this," she said. "The Kensingtons called me last night and asked if I could watch the kids tomorrow morning. It turns out they forgot that they had promised to take the kids to Disneyland the day after they got back from their vacation. So they asked if I could drive them there. But there's a problem." "What is it?" I asked. "Well, I don't have a car," Bella replied. "They asked if you could lend yours. Please say yes." So the next day I drove Bella and the kids to Disneyland. And as soon as we got there, it was like everything was going to be okay. Ethan and Ella were having the time of their lives, and Bella and I actually had a chance to relax for once. But then it happened. Out of nowhere, the sky turned dark, the wind picked up, and before we knew it, the ground beneath us began to shake. "Earthquake!" Ella screamed. "Help me!" Bella yelled over the sound of the wind. "There's a ride on the other side of the park. We have to get the kids over here." But the path to the ride was blocked by fallen debris, and our only option was to run across the street, except cars were flying everywhere and it wasn't safe. Just when I thought we were doomed, a man appeared out of nowhere and offered to take us in his golf cart. We raced through the park, dodging falling signs, broken benches, and terrified tourists until we finally reached the ride. Once we got the kids buckled in, we barely had enough time to escape ourselves. The ride shook violently and we clung to each other for dear life. But eventually it was over. The ride came to a stop and we stepped off shaken but unharmed. That's when we realized that Ethan and Ella were nowhere to be found. "Ethan, Ella!" we screamed, but all we could hear were sobs. "I'm scared," Ella cried. "Where are we? Where are the others?" "It's okay," Bella said, kneeling down to their level. "We're here to pick you up. Don't worry." But when we got back to the entrance of the ride, we saw the most incredible sight. Standing in front of the ride was a long line of people holding signs with the kids' names on them. "Are you looking for someone?" a woman asked. "Yes," Bella and I said in unison. "These are our kids," I explained. "And during the earthquake, they must have gotten separated from us. Have you seen them?" "Oh, honey, they're safe," the woman said. "They're on that bus over there." Those are Mrs. Kensington's parents. They drove down to meet the kids and make sure they got home safe. They even brought along some of the neighbors to help out. Relief washed over me, and I thanked the woman profusely. Then I turned to Bella and said, "Let's go talk to the kids." But as we approached the bus, we saw the twins getting into the back seat of Mrs. Kensington's car. "Mom, Dad, you're back early," Ella said. "We thought you weren't coming back for another week," Ethan added. Mrs. Kensington smiled. We missed you so much, we couldn't stay away. Now come on, let's go home. Bella and I looked at each other, confused. You mean Bella started? You want us to take the kids back to the house now? Mrs. Kensington nodded. We have to leave for the airport in an hour, and we can't delay our flight. Can you take care of the kids until we get back from vacation? She was asking me to look after the kids for a whole week. I started, but I was cut off by Ethan. Bella and her friendo will take care of us, right? He said. Bella and I looked at each other again. There was no way we were going to say no to those eyes. And besides, what choice did we have? The next week went by in a flash. Between board games, homemade pizza, and outdoor adventures, we had so much fun. And even though it was hard to say goodbye when the Kensingtons got back, it made me realize that no matter where I go, these memories will stay with me forever.